Hey guys, Mike here, welcome back to another video on the channel. I'm just out doing some fishing today. I've been out since about 8 o'clock this morning and I was out all day yesterday fishing at a lake where you have trout and Arctic char. I didn't catch anything. I did come here to this same spot at the end of the day yesterday and caught a fairly nice sized pike that's in my freezer now. But I thought I'd come out today and do a little bit more fishing as I've got some time off, and I thought I'd bring you guys with me. I'm actually just downriver from a small hydro dam, one of two hydro dams that provide power for the town where I live in Åsele in South Lapland, Sweden. And it's actually a very good place to fish too. You get a lot of people coming here from all over Europe to fish for really big trout. You get some really large 9-10 kilo trout people are catching here. But I'm just going to be fishing for some pike and also some perch if I can get any, and see what I can catch, and maybe we'll have dinner out here in the wilderness. This isn't the river behind me, by the way. It's actually just in front of me, and it's all the roaring you can hear in the background. It's flowing pretty hard today as the dam's open a bit, but actually that provides quite good food for the fish here, and it's probably why it's a great spot. Let's see if we can catch anything. Finally feel like I've got something. The first bites I've had all day. Been out for over 8 hours actually. Probably a small pike by the feel of it. I've just got the brake on, but it's just a touch stiff. I just want to try and tire him out before he comes in, or else he'll start shaking around everywhere and I'll probably lose it right at the edge of the water. Holding on. Just get him out of the water. Oh, look at them teeth. Got him in there good though with that lure. Caught a lot of pike on this old copper lure. That was in there real good. Almost couldn't put a pike back like this. It's been caught so badly with the lure. kind of destroys it a little bit. And sometimes you just clip them in the mouth, and if you don't want to eat them, you can put them back once they start getting torn up like this. You really can't, but there it is. Had a lot of pike on that. Mind you, it's not an easy, not a difficult fish to catch, as long as you bring it in slow and know where to go. I think that's it for me. Tried a little bit more fishing, but mainly I just had something to eat and a cup of tea. Just kind of take a break and sit and look and listen. It's just kind of a nice thing to do when you're out in nature. The other pike I caught yesterday is in the freezer. I'm keeping that for my parents, sort of cook a big meal for them. But I think I'm going to have dinner out in nature. I'm going to get this fish out of the water, get my kit, get back to the Jeep. And there's a viewpoint with a grilling place I might head to, and you guys can come with me, and I'll have my dinner out in the wilderness tonight. Well, I'm back up at the Jeep now. I had to mobilise a little bit quickly. We're losing daylight and it gets dark around here about 7:30 this time of year. Winter's really on the cusp here in Sweden. But there's a grilling station just up there. There are some other guys in it at the moment doing the same thing as me, cooking their catch of the day. So I just helped myself to a bit of wood and decided to make a fire down here, and also cut some birch too. There's a little bit of dead wood knocking around, which is good. But we'll get a fire going nice and quick. In about an hour it'll be ready to cook on, and then we'll get the fish on and I can have something to eat because I'm pretty hungry. particular piece of birch here is off quite a young tree, and you can see it's really flaky. Makes it much easier to get a fire going, less prep if you're in a kind of a bit of a lazy mood like I am. And then you can get some smaller pieces, just get them going in case you get a bit of a roll on like that, because it will roll a lot, the thin stuff, the thick stuff not so much. It's a lot of birch, but it is pretty cold at the moment. You probably don't think it, but it's around about 4 degrees. Quite a lot of dead spruce around, which is fallen, which is great. So that'll help spruce up the fire if it needs it. Just gave the old Pike a wash, just another rinse down. It had a bit of dirt on it. And you probably saw me earlier, I hardened the nose of this spit in the ashes of the fire, just not in the heat of the flame, but down under the fire where it's nice and hot, and it just hardens the grain up a bit so it doesn't fracture when I put it through the fish. But I'm just going to go down through the fish's mouth. And then out the tail. You can cook a lot of fish this way. It's a very, very simple way of cooking. If you don't have too many implements, that's it. So just going to get that over the fire and start cooking it. I use some of this stuff for seasoning. I always carry it in the Jeep. It's called citron pepper. It's basically salt, lemon and pepper. And it's a good seasoning really, just for general meats, fish, all sorts of things. Been sitting by the fire for about 35 minutes now. Fish is almost done. A few things really. Obviously I left the head on, nice bone structure to put the steak through. It was a little bit on the thick side, so it damaged the back end too much, and as it starts to cook you lose a bit of strength and structure in the meat, so I had to put a bit of paracord on, but you know, it's not the first time it's happened. And also left the skin on too, just helps it to retain a lot more moisture, stops it drying out if you're going to cook it this way. A little bit like that video I did where I spit roasted the pheasant over the fire, exactly the same way. You just leave the skin on, you get a much better flavour, a bit more moisture in the meat. But saying that, I've cooked it, pheasant, over the fire without the skin many a times, and I've never had any kind of dryness or complaints about that. I think as long as you cook slowly, you know, you take your time, it'll always turn out good. I reckon we're there. So I'm going to get this off the fire now and put it on this little tiny chopping board. I might actually buy a bigger one now. I'm catching larger fish yeah, we'll get this off and I'll get it prepped, and I'm flipping hungry, so I'll start eating. Yeah, it looks good. There we are. It's a good job it isn't any bigger. It's good to keep the skin on, but you'll see when I break this skin now, you'll see loads of moisture come out. There you go, look at that. Perfection. You've got some Y bones across the top there. I've got a plate here, so you don't eat the skin. I don't anyway, not on pike. There are some fish you can have the skin. This is too much for one person there. Should have called some of my friends to come and join me. Megan's not too keen on fish. But that's it. You can see it keeps all the moisture in, which is nice. And run the knife down there. And this is the bit with the Y bones in, this stuff at the top here. But it's not too much of a problem if you don't mind just sitting around a campfire and taking your time to do some eating. But there we are. Really nice cooked fish. This portion here won't have any bones in. That'll be quite nice unless you end up taking a few with you like I just did there. But you can generally get that off the bone quite easily like that. So looking good. Let's try it. Super hungry. You can't complain about moisture though and it being dry. There's water or juice literally pouring out of it. We'll go for this bit here. Awesome. Wow. This is the boneless side, by the way. The Y bones are that side. When you fillet it, there's like a number of different methods of filleting. There's so many. But a lot of them you remove the Y bones. But when you're out camping like this, I mean, I quite enjoy sitting around a fire, pecking at a bit of fish and getting everything off of it. I don't mind a few bones. Wow. It's really good. I'm so hungry. I didn't realise how hungry I was, like Gollum. By the side of a river. So it didn't take long to cook, about just over half hour. Which isn't long, but it is too much for me. You're probably wondering where the dog is today, but I don't really bring the dog with me when I'm fishing by the rocks, because some of the rocks are really big, and Monster's kind of a big dog, and it's just too dangerous for him to. He gets really excited. He's going through the rocks too much. He'll break a leg or something. You just got to be careful. So he doesn't come with me when I go out fishing like this. If I'm in this area where it's really rocky. But if he was here, I was thinking he would be my best friend right now. I have to take some home for him because it's way too much for me. So, and the cat will like it as well. If I was going to describe the flavour though, I keep skipping forward because I'm eating. I know some people have said to me it tastes muddy. It doesn't taste muddy here. I'd imagine, yeah, okay, you know, fish does tend to take on the quality of the water. You know, in the UK, maybe in a canal or something, if you've got a lot of mud, the fish might taste, certain fish might taste muddy. But here in Sweden, especially in the northerly part, where we are, I'm not fully north, but I'm in South Lapland, so the lower northerly part of Sweden. The water here is incredibly clean, really clean water. A lot of people drink straight from the water. Now, I wouldn't do that all the time because, you know, from my experience, I just, you know, I'm a bit more cautious than that. But it tastes great. Very clean, very nice, and it's got a unique flavour, but not a bad one at all. Very, very nice flavour, and I prefer it to perch. And a lot of the guys here, a lot of the locals really like perch, and I'm not really that keen on it, if I'm honest with you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave it there and eat more of this pike before it cools down too much, because it's not too, I don't really enjoy eating cold fish outdoors. And then I'm going to bag the rest of it up, take it home for the dog and the cat as well, because they'll quite like it. They seem to always like it when I bring stuff like this home. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I just filmed it quite casually. I did go out yesterday and film, and I didn't catch anything. But I love eating fish this way. I love eating game and meat this way. I find it kind of brings me back to when I was much younger, and brings me back to a lot of the old hunting stuff I used to do as well back in the UK that I can't quite do here at the moment. Not yet anyway. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you like this video. And yeah, I'll see you very soon in another one. So take care. Little bit of bonus footage. This is about a week after cooking the pike. It's cooled off a little bit. It's about 3 degrees C today. The water's starting to cool down, and it's obviously coming towards the end of pulling out the pike because they're starting to go deep. And I was testing out this new rod. I bought this rod cheap off a friend of mine who has a fishing store, and it had some damage to it, so I've managed to sort that out. I've just caught quite a decent sized pike. Just bringing him in now. You can probably see him just there. I don't have the underwater drone with me, so no fancy underwater footage. But there, got the brake just quite loose now, because I know as it comes in it will thrash around everywhere. I was surprised actually to be getting a pike at this time of year, but that one looks like it's pretty good size actually. I don't have my net. Out of all the things I've forgotten a net. I bought it at the second-hand shop about a week ago. It would have been pretty useful for getting this guy out of the water. It's taking a while to bring this guy in. Tiring him out. Well, there he is. Well, there's the fish. I've dispatched it. It took me a long time to get the lure out. It was really in there, and you can see it compared to the Stanley here. It's a decent sized pike actually. I mean, if I'd have cooked that over a spit, it would have certainly been a bit more difficult with such a big fish. But I'm going to get it cleaned up, then get it in the freezer, I think, in chunks, because it's quite a big fish, and unless you've got like a big group of people around eating fish, it's on the big side. And Meg doesn't eat fish, so it's kind of just going to be for me, and the scraps will be for the dog. So yeah, a little bit of bonus footage on the end there. Didn't really come out with the anticipation of catching anything. I was just sort of playing around with my new rods and just seeing how it felt, and quite surprised to actually catch it, really, because the water's really cooled down a lot. And normally, like, the people who have been fishing for pike at this time of year, it's not a good time for them. And most people have been fishing really deep, and I was using a floater and just running it along the surface, just playing with the rod. So yeah, obviously it was hungry, and it spotted it and it wanted it. And I was just kind of letting the current take it, and just kind of sort of thrashing the rod every now and then without trying to sound too dodgy. And yeah, just sort of, I guess it simulates kind of an injured fish, and you know, I think they call it jerk fishing actually, from what I've been told. But yeah, obviously it was attractive enough for the pike to take it. But anyway, enough of this. I'm gonna do some more fishing and get this in the vehicle. And thanks for watching. See you soon.